Hello, we're Maddie and the Zaw Boys.
So Jake, what were you expecting from this class?
So from Dr. Gower's Leadership Theory and Practice class, I was expecting a lot of reading and learning about business leadership in the business world. I wanted to grow personally in my leadership styles and learn new styles of leadership, which I can then implement in my daily life and during leadership activities.
So Matt, what did you think? Well, in this leadership class, I was expecting that I would learn precise ways to lead people, to basically request an action that you want and ways to get that action as easily as possible. I was hoping that I would become a better leader, so to help me in my career to develop into someone that can lead an organization. Ben, what were you expecting?
Well, this class was, I expected a lot different from this class. I took Gower's social justice class last year, and it was an amazing experience, but this class really, I expected it to be much more about the actual act of leadership than what we went through and talked about last year. So Maddie, what did you think?
So I've taken like several of Gower's classes before, just like you. So I knew it was going to be ambiguous, and I knew there was going to be a lot of reading, and I knew it was going to be a lot of discussion-based talking. But I think this class was definitely a lot different from the previous classes I've taken. I don't know, I guess I was just expecting to learn more about what it means to be a leader, and definitely not just this like theory of what is a leader, but like the specific theories behind different styles of leadership. And also I knew there was going to be a component where we were going to be leading ourselves, which I was really excited, whether it was in the class or out in the community.
That's okay. All right, so in taking this class, and now that it's the end of the semester and I got to experience 16 great weeks of Dr. Gower's Leadership Theory class, personal reflection, I kind of saw myself improving in my conscientious ability and my ability to put myself into other people's shoes. When prior to this class, I feel like I kind of looked over that, and but now I've really told myself that I want to do what Dr. Gower says is a big step in leadership, and that's proximity and putting yourself close to the situation of others to be able to understand what they're going through and what their lives are, to make to kind of improve yours and to know what it takes to improve theirs through leadership. And that's what people respond to, and I feel like I've done a pretty okay job so far of trying to better myself through that through the whole semester, and I attribute that to Dr. Gower's Leadership Theory and Practice class.
So from Dr. Gower's class this semester, the biggest takeaway I have on leadership is coping with ambiguity. I think that's really the primary purpose of a leader, is to be there in situations where it's unexpected and you haven't dealt with that before, and that's when you look to a leader for advice and counsel and a way forward. So this semester I learned that you got to seek out ambiguity so that when it comes to you for real, you're ready to deal with it and accordingly and help your organization succeed.
So this class really helped me understand what I was looking for with leadership. I started reading Carnegie about a year and a half ago through Gower's Management 301 class, and taking that through all of these different semesters with these different points of view has really helped me figure out what I want out of leadership and how I want to project myself as a leader.
So I feel like I've really grown throughout this entire class. I have previously taken classes with KJ, and I feel like this class I was able to take the skills I've learned in management, the skills I learned in social justice, and it was kind of a pinnacle to take this leadership class where I could use skills from all the other classes and bring them together to work with like an awesome group, but also to really learn the specifics of being a leader. I feel like I've always kind of fallen into natural leadership positions, but I could see myself grow throughout the semester with being the president of S Buddies within my group, like changing my leadership styles and applying certain skills that I learned in class into those positions. Humphrey was probably the most important book for me to read this semester. First of all, it was new, it was something fresh, but it detailed specifics about dealing with crisis situations and how to emerge as a leader, but also how to progress as a leader. And I think all of that was really incredible to not only prepare me for the future and in the workforce, but also to help prepare me every day and for next semester and, you know, the leadership positions I hold currently.
We have found Jake.
Okay, so
He has survived.
Oh, yeah, so Matthew was showing me around kind of like
Everything. He was showing me. He wants me to go get lunch now. I'll be back. We found Jake and Matt again. They were lost earlier, now they're back.
Hi everybody, my name is Matthew Gower. I'm 26 years old. I'm a Special Olympics athlete and a river messenger. I've been doing Special Olympics for about 11 to 10 years. I was born with Down syndrome. People with disabilities have most in common, you know. We're kind of cool people, but sometimes our face is kind of small and crooked, but it's not that bad. Thank you for the bunny ears. But,
Hey, I like your face.
thanks. Well, I'm so cute. It helps me grow a lot and it builds self-esteem. Well, leadership has meant to me a lot because I've been going out different schools and churches and Boy Scout groups about how Special Olympics made my life and how huge impact of my life. But it gets me involved, it gets my family involved. It's been my family's life, and it's a great thing that I've done so far to receive my life and goal and trying to help others and trying to advocate all the people around the world, people with disabilities that don't have enough resources and any type of sports curricular activities out there, but this is what they want to do, so this is a very fun activity. This is really fun for me and for other people out there who are not involved with Special Olympics, or if it's not with Best Buddies, or if it's not with Lone Life Component. It's been a huge impact in everybody's lives. We as people with disabilities are so talented and so wonderful. You can see their amazing smiles on their faces. It's just you cannot how much they love Special Olympics, and that's how they love it. It's about sportsmanship, and it's about competing. It's about winning and not about losing, and it's very fun. Special Olympics has been a huge impact in everybody's lives. Well, my great leadership is changing the world without a difference. You know, you want to change America, you want to change a nation, or if it's me changing the country. For me, as a person with a disability, we as people with disabilities, we want to be more exclusive. We want to keep our attitudes positive. We want to keep ourselves more advocate. And the more you ask questions about it, you know, I'm very huge on TV. I'm huge on radio interviews about Special Olympics. I'm a huge fan on national TVs and YouTube videos, and it's a great impact. And thank you for asking that question, Jake from State Farm.
This was a really eye-opening experience for me, and really helped me understand how people with IDD interact with the world. Growing up and pretty much my whole life, I've been very uncomfortable around people with IDD. I didn't know how to interact with them. I felt embarrassed talking to them, and so this was a really good experience where I could actually interact with people and found out that they're just like everyone else.
Hello, we're Maddie and the Zaw Boys, and this is what we've learned over the past semester. Okay guys, starting off, what leader that we studied impacted our team's leadership development the most?
For me personally, I would have to say that learning about Steve Jobs impacted my leadership development. I think, you take Steve Jobs, he's a very selfish, self-minded guy with really his own ego and aspirations in focus, but those qualities made him a leader to look up to for the whole company of Apple, and that was something that made them very successful. So I just found it interesting that not everything that makes you successful as a personal leader will translate to being successful as a business leader.
And vice versa.
I think as a team, I think we functioned a lot kind of like Brian Stevenson, in the sense that I think we're all like very concerned about everyone else in our group, and we definitely, I feel like we led empathetically within our group, and we were very understanding of each other's like needs, and what we wanted to gain out of the class, and what each other wanted to gain out of the class, and I thought we were really good when we set our SMART goals in the beginning to sticking to them, and really respecting other people's time.
I think the Zappos article kind of describes us. They didn't really have titles. I mean, we do have titles for our group, but I think we, for the most part, had a good system of checks and balances to keep everybody, on track and doing what we needed to do, and even doing what we didn't need to do to make what we did need to do better. I feel like our leadership activities stretched from the community service to just getting along and promoting leadership within our group, and that really projected a positive outlook on where the group ended up
For sure.
Yeah.
at the end of the semester.
I can definitely see that, because especially with the Zappos article, they didn't have official nobody was higher than anyone else, and I feel like we've always been very much on an equal playing field.
All parts of a pizza are important parts of a pizza.
Yeah.
You can't have a pizza without the sauce or the cheese or the toppings or the
Yeah.
crust.
Not a pizza.
But I am the crust and I'm double stuffed.
Okay,
Great.
what were significant moments in our group's leadership story?
For me, I think of this one moment during class, Dr. Gower was mad at us, understandably, because our blogs were not where they needed to be. And she's ranting on us for that, and then she mentions how multiple people had come to her to talk about their dysfunctional groups. And I just remember thinking to myself how well we were working together and thinking that wasn't us. I'm like, Dr. Gower, is that everybody? Because I don't think that's us. And I just realized in that moment that was me being a leader and standing up for people that I worked with.
Yeah, I think that was like a really cool moment where I was sitting there like, oh my god, shut up,
I was like,
Matt.
don't say anything.
Don't say anything,
But
Matt.
then we're so happy he did.
I'm happy you said something because I think I personally learned, a moment of like standing up for yourself and standing up for what you believe in. And even when you kind of feel like maybe that's not the right time, or sometimes maybe personally I'm trying to be too considerate of people's feelings, when sometimes you just have to say, this is how I saw it, and stand up for what you believe in. I think that was a cool moment for me.
Yeah, it was just instinctual for me. Like, this is the best group I've ever done a project with. So when she was talking about that, it's just like, that's not what's happening. So I just felt that and said something.
I felt like the pinnacle of our leadership story was our service project. I think that was a really big moment for me. I personally loved it, especially because it's my buddies, who I got to introduce my team to. So it was kind of like worlds colliding, which was really fun. But I thought it was so much fun to come together as a group to work all day with one another, but also with all these athletes who, as we've talked about previously, are advocates and are leaders in their own way, and to learn from a different perspective that I don't think many of us have been experienced to. And for me, when Ben was reflecting about his situation and not knowing people with disabilities, it was so awesome to hear that and see that we as a group were exposed to, something that is going to change your perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's being a leader, is doing something uncomfortable. And I think we did something uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, even admitting that to myself and to everybody was felt embarrassing. Like, and the fact that it was seen as so helpful, and that was the point. Like, that was what we were trying to do. And realizing that was probably the most impactful part of this project this semester.
All right, so serious question though. Did we eat enough pizza?
Oh my god, we ate so much pizza.
Literally, this is being recorded on a pizza box.
Right, yeah. From group formation to now, there were, I would say, 20-something pizzas?
More. Okay,
Counting the ones we brought to class?
Counting the one Jake needed in time. So someone else say it.
What real world problems could be solved with the theories and applications that we have studied in class?
Well, you could really take that anywhere you want. I think that we learned there's many different approaches to leadership, and it's really independent to the situation. So you just need to be aware of all the variables involved.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can solve anything. I feel like that's what this whole class is about, because we take all of these different theories and applications, and then we see how we can use them not just to be more empathetic leaders, but also to be more understanding of all of the different issues. So
More comprehensive.
Yeah, more comprehensive, because we look at not just the technical aspect, but also the emotional aspect you have with different social justice issues and how those impact leadership as well. Not just in previous classes, but in this class.
No, 100%. I also think it was cool, I think as a class we really developed, not just as individuals and as a team, but I saw our class develop from definitely not seeming like we cared as much, to coming to class with a lot more energy. I think we kind of took that negativity and we flipped it and made it into a positive. And ultimately, by leading class discussions, by KG kicking our butts, basically until we were participating.
Right.
But I think it all ended up working out well, and I think our class discussions were very, very valuable. And I think even just if you look at the semester, we had to work as leaders with a common goal to have a more fulfilling class time and use our class time for better.
Right, yeah, it took us it was a month or two to really figure out what KG was looking for in terms of discussion and leadership.
But we did it, and that's the important part.
I'm I'm an outgoing person, more exclusive in the community in different high schools, but I'm a huge ladies fan, so if y'all Whiskers fans out there, could be a little holla, thank you.
Because it turned out to be, we were doing things we needed to do, and it was a good leadership position, or a good.
Hi, sorry. We have the room reserved at 8:30, just so you guys
Sweet.
know.
Could you give us 3 minutes?
Yeah, no, that's why I was letting you guys know.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Thank you.
You might be in a leadership video.
It will be.
Uh,
I forgot what I was saying.
Damn,
Edit it out.
screw that kid.
Hey, be nice. They're just letting us know.
Yeah, whatever they care,
You could have just barged in.
Wait, you were talking, thank God that she
Thank God that I said something